And that's my arm workout for the day.
Previously on A Body in Progress.
For one of and a bunch of push-up, and you're
One down. 49 to go.
We've been able to hop and skip pretty easily through my summer just because the workouts were pretty inconsistent, or at least not consistent enough to make any headlines, to come up with any new PRs and really examine and talk about them. So what was it that took up a lot of my time? Well, I went out and I was able to get a lot of hiking done. Now, I've always enjoyed a good hike, but when you're 270, 280 pounds, it only takes a 30 to 45 minute hike to really wear you out, and once a summer is good. In 2018, for various reasons, I went out for some hikes, and some of them were pretty aggressive. But the more I did it, the more I got out in the air, and sometimes by myself, sometimes with a friend or a family member, but just went for a hike, the more I really started to like it. And the more I felt really like I was adding to my life something that had been missing. And I really do feel, I'm going to trigger some feminists here, but I do feel that males were created by God to be masculine, and females were created to be feminine, and the two of them work together. The men have the brute strength and the brute mentality to come in and be the ones clearing the land and laying the foundations for a new city, a new civilization, and then that enables the women and children to come in and help round it out and make it a beautiful thing. And so, as much as I enjoy video editing and writing and playing the piano and doing things that are very much sedentary and sitting at a desk, I realized in 2018, as the summer was wrapping up, just how much more alive and complete I felt. It was that more aggressive, rough and tumble part of my existence, my masculinity, that I had not been experiencing very much. So in 2019, I knew that when summer weather came, I had to go out and I had to do some more of this just because of how enriching it was. So I did. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that footage, set it aside, and give it its own treatment in some upcoming episodes, maybe 2, hopefully not 3. I think I can boil it down to 2, and really explore that particular facet of my summer all by itself. So that's coming up, just to let you know. But just for the heck of it, here's a quick highlight. You really should see this. In other news, on August 30th, we took our annual trip to Cline Falls State Park, and by trip I mean about 4 or 5 miles, for some fun in the sun. It's family day here at the Cline Falls State Park. I'm about to set foot in the river. Every year this is cold water because it comes straight down from the mountains. It was probably snow yesterday. So, yeah, good stuff.
Mommy, they found a baby crawdad and put it in with a big one.
As many times as I've taken my kids to the Cline Falls State Park and had them go tubing down the river, I've never gone tubing down the river. And so today is my day.
Needs a beer holder.
On the last day of August, I ended up on a small adventure I will tell you about here instead of in the hiking adventures because we didn't do any hiking. But my friend Carson, whom you've met, has become something of a photographer, and he wanted to get a good shot of a nice clear night sky away from any city lights and not during a full moon. And he discovered a place called the Alvord Desert in the southeast corner of Oregon. And so he described it to me. He said it's just a big flat desert area. And I thought, well, that itself doesn't sound like a lot of fun. But since my friend is going, that could be just a nice, cool adventure. You know, we're going to go out late and stay till midnight and look up at the night sky. Okay, it's different. Let's do this. So I joined him and off we went. And I'll start right here with this cute little spot called the Fields Station. It's out in the middle of nowhere. If you're at the field station and you do not fill up with gas, you pretty much will not get back to civilization. So take advantage of their gas pumps while you're there. Take advantage also of their food. They make a pretty darn good hamburger, quite a good size for the bill. I saw the price in the menu and I thought, oh, this is not going to be worth it. It's one of those places where they're going to jack the price to take advantage of the fact that they've got you. But no, it was a big burger. And then they are quite famous. I don't know about world-renowned, but they are very famous for their milkshakes, so I had to try one. I will say that for my taste in milkshakes, I would not go 4 hours out of my way to get one, but it was an enjoyable milkshake. Anyway, this is not a full restaurant review. We need to move on to the Alvord Desert, which there it is. And again, just looking at it, you go, well, so what? But it's very flat, and in fact, it's so flat and wide that it does have world-renowned as a place for testing land speed records. And in fact, 2 weeks before we went there, a woman who is world-renowned for holding a world speed record, in attempting to set a new one, unfortunately crashed and killed herself. But there was something strangely fascinating about driving out on this thing. There are no lanes, there are no markers. All you have to do is watch out for other people and you can just drive around on it. So we did. Some people come, they bring their tents and they camp out there. And maybe next summer I'll do that just for fun. But so we parked, we set up, and then it was just, I don't know how to put it into words. It was just different. There was nothing to do, but we were away from just all the usual stuff. So we watched the sunset, and then the moon, the little sliver of moon, went setting. I was hoping for a better shot of this, a better time lapse, but there was so much wind that it shook the camera quite a bit. So there's that. But then as the stars started to come out, just beautiful. And I know I've seen a full night sky. I know I've been out in the middle of Colorado or Wyoming one time on a family trip, and we got out and saw the sky, and I know it's beautiful, but to be reminded of it after I think probably 2 decades, maybe even 3, to really see as much as the eye can see, to see the Milky Way in all its grandeur, it's just huge, and it's stretched from one side of the sky to the other, and just fantastic. I think we saw about half a dozen shooting stars too, and satellites were crystal clear. And then on top of all that, he really got a good photo here. I haven't asked his permission, but he did post it on Instagram, so I'm assuming he's okay with it being public. While we were there and before the sunset, I looked around and I thought, well, this place is unique and it's different. I guess it qualifies, so And with that, state number 2, Oregon, is in the books for 50 push-ups. One of my goals within 2019 was to take that summer period, those 20 weeks from May 20th to my birthday on September 28th, and work to lose weight, whatever it was, just so that at the end, the end weigh-in was less than the starting weigh-in. And I did manage to achieve that. You can see that I went from 237 at the start there in May to 228 on the Saturday just before my birthday. So weight overall did come down. We have finally made it. We have finally arrived at Ben's Cracker Barrel, which opened in early February. We have at last reached a point where we can afford the time and the money to try it out. September doesn't really have anything to report. I do have one little piece of news that does have a certain amount of impact on my fitness lifestyle, so I'll bring it to you here. For a couple of years now, I've had 2 part-time jobs, one at the grocery store and one at the news station. And in July of 2019, my supervisor at the news station pointed out to me that my position would be going full-time. I didn't automatically get it. I did have to apply and have the interview and such, so I did. And I got the part, mainly because I was the person he was hoping I would get the part, and I got my application in before anybody else did. So on September 18th of 2019, I went full-time. So I am now 40 hours a week at the news station. When I present my episode about October through December, I'll talk about how that affects my fitness lifestyle. But I think otherwise, I think I'm through all my notes. That's my summer. That's the 20 weeks of the Summer of the Big Tiger 2019. And do I have anything else to say? Nope. I do have those upcoming episodes about the hikes, as well as something else that did happen in September. I want to make that also its own episode or two. And I'll present all of that just as soon as I can. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back soon.